Today's video, we'll be taking a look at a few vintage laptops.
We review old technology from games to old PCs, and don't forget the toys. Oh yeah, ancient electronics, we cover it all.
Hello everybody. So, today's video we're going to talk about a few classic laptops. Not too classic, these are all 90s Pentium, well maybe not 90s, early 2000s Pentium machines, but I thought it would make an interesting video to take a quick look at these. Now, if you followed my channel for a while, you know I don't do a lot of laptop content. I'm not really into laptops very much. I've always kind of viewed them just as lesser versions of things I already have. Like, I already have the desktop, so why would I play it on a smaller screen with lesser hardware? That's usually how I see it, so I don't bother with them. And I usually am not in a situation where their utility of being like portable would come in handy to me. I don't really go travel around and get the urge to play DOS games on the road or something, or like camping and stuff like that, where it would be of real benefit. So I don't have a ton of interest in laptops, but I was recently given 4 of them, and you know, they could come in handy. I don't know, maybe the zombie apocalypse is coming, and between foraging for food and killing zombies or something, you want to relax with a DOS game, and you certainly probably sip less power from a solar generator than a full you know, desktop with a CRT would. So hey, let's take a look at some sort of classic laptops. Well, let's see what I got anyways, and we'll talk about them a little bit. Now, this is just brief overviews. I am not gonna like play games on them or go really in depth. Like I said, my interest in laptops is not a lot, but like I said, I thought it would make kind of an interesting video here. So we're gonna go in order from the newest to the oldest. So this is an HP. This is a Pentium 4 machine. It's kind of a monster. I kind of like this thing. Now, I have powered all these machines up. They all do work. I don't really remember what OS is on them or anything. It's very brief, but I think this is like a top-of-the-line early 2000s Pentium 4 machine, Windows XP. So this would actually be nice for early Windows XP. I think there's a Northwood in there, so this is actually, I think this is like a high-end HP Pavilion. It's got these Harman Kardon. Hold on, let me make sure everything's in the frame. Yeah. So it's got this, well, sort of, hold on. It's got this like high-end Harman Kardon, like, I don't think that's how you pronounce it, like audio. This is all a sound bar. So this is kind of nice. That's a big screen for a laptop. What we got? We got a DVD drive. We've got like like memory card slot. This is that PCM whatever thing that I never remember the exact things. Audio, USB. I don't know what that is. Probably for external devices. This is kind of nice. What do we got in the back here? We've got VGA out, printer port, more USB network stuff. That's S-Video. I thought that was a PS2 port for a moment, but that's S-Video, so you could output this to most TVs pretty easily. If you hear that buzzing, that's my phone. Must have got a message or something. It doesn't use any funky, it's just like a regular barrel power connector, so it shouldn't be too hard to find a replacement. Alright, so let's power this thing on. There's the power button. So, yeah, as far as like Pentium 4 machines, I kind of like this. This is really sort of high-end. I think it is. I got like a mouse pad here. So yeah, okay, so that's very appropriate. We have Windows XP on it. I know the guy I got these off us, he's usually kind of like a Linux fan, so he usually has Linux and all these things, but XP is quite appropriate. We'll look at the specs real quick. Oh, decent sound. And then we'll go and we'll go to the next one, so we won't get real super in depth on these things. So what is in here? Oh boy, I don't even remember how to. Do I not remember how to navigate XP? Come on, control panel. Okay, that's all right. So we're in control panel. There's NVIDIA drivers. So I believe it must have some kind of NVIDIA card. So we've got XP Service Pack 3. So we've got a Pentium 4 running at 2.66 gigahertz. I believe it's a Northwood, so that is nice. Only 512 megabytes of RAM. That's doable, but it could be, wish it was more. Let's see if we can find anything out in Device Manager here real quick. And what do we have to... Okay, so we have an NVIDIA GeForce 448 Go. I'm not very experienced with that. I don't know if that's just a mobile version of the GeForce 4, which is still nice. So that's pretty nice. So here's CPU-Z. We'll just take a look at that real quick. We're probably not going to have this luxury of having like things like CPU-Z on the other ones. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's a Northwood. I don't see any like... So it doesn't look like it's a hyper-threaded Northwood or anything, but, you know, what, 2.6 gigahertz. This is decent. Yeah, this is pretty decent. Get 512 of DDR. I don't know if you can up that or not. It looks like there's another... Okay, there's 2 slots and they're both filled by 256. That might be the max. I don't know. And then we've got that GeForce. So overall, I think as far as laptops go, this would make a decent like early XP build, or well, you're not really building it, but this would be good for like early XP and even like Windows 98, like an overpowered Windows 98 laptop. That's a nice big screen. Looks decent. Yeah, this is nice. All right. So I like this one. Let's move on. So here's our next machine. It looks decidedly more low end and beat up. This is a Dell. I would point out that last machine didn't seem to have a floppy drive on it, where I can immediately see this one does have a floppy drive. So as far as retro games, that's a plus, although you can kind of debate the usefulness of this definitely in XP and even in like Windows 98, the usefulness of floppy drive. But it's nice that it's there, built in. So yeah, I mean, other than being, even if this was in perfect condition, it certainly doesn't look as high-end as that HP. Let's take a look here. We've got a DVD drive. That's nice. There's a TV symbol, so I think that might be S-Video. Networking. A little more old-school ports in the back. I don't remember the HP having a serial port, but we have a parallel port, some kind of proprietary hookup port maybe. Oh, this is probably for a docking bay. VGA out, and we do have a PS2 port for either a mouse or keyboard, which I don't think was on the HP. That just was expecting you to use all USB, so that's nice if you have a PS2 device you want to use. 2 USB, dual fans, audio right here, and that thing, what is that, Firewire, I think? That looks like an IR port, but I don't know. And then another, I think this is another one of those, where those... Okay, so it connects in right there. It looks more like a networking, I think. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And there's the light, so it did definitely get power. Let's start this thing up. We've got another Windows XP, so I don't remember the CPU in this, but it's definitely Windows XP era. Doesn't, like I said, doesn't really look as high-end as the HP at all, but there we go. I don't know what's on here. Invalid configuration. Let's see if there's an OS. Windows XP. Okay, so we can take a look and at least kind of see what's in here. Definitely could use a little bit of a cleaning. I mean, overall it's in decent shape. The screen, is this a 4:3 screen? I think the other was widescreen. You know, so your tastes, maybe you prefer this. It's still decent looking screen. Sounds not bad, but it's definitely more scratchy than the other one. Let's see here. We'll go... Alright. let's see what's in here. I have no idea what this thing is packing as far as I have no idea what this thing is packing as far as like specs. Control panel, or well, system information. Okay. So we've got XP System Pack 3. Okay, so this one has a mobile Intel Pentium at 2.4 gigahertz. So it's a little slower overall as far as the CPU, but I don't know much about the the Intel Pentiums, so I really couldn't tell you how this mobile Intel Pentium compares to the Northwood Pentium. I have no idea. I don't even know what it's based off of. I think I remember something about these Intel mobile Pentiums were more based off the Pentium 3, but I don't know. Like I said, 2.40 gigahertz was like 20 some gigahertz or megahertz slower, but kind of a different CPU. Again, 512 megabytes of RAM. Let's see what it tells us for the video card real quick. Of course, we're not really looking at the hard drive sizes. They're all probably relatively small comparatively. Here we go, display adapters. I'm guessing it's okay, Dell C840. I don't know what that is, but I'm guessing the GeForce built-in video is much better than this maybe. I don't know if this is Dell, just what Dell calls the Intel built-in integrated video. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's functioning. But if I had to choose, I would definitely take the HP over this one. All right, let's shut this one down, and then let's go to the last two, which are a little bit more interesting, just because they're a little bit more retro. Okay, here's our next one. This is definitely much more retro looking with the white, off-white, beigeish case. This is a Compaq LTE 5300. I don't even remember what CPU this thing has. It's not only are all these that we're looking at from different companies. We had Dell, HP. This is Compaq. I think the last one's Toshiba. As they get older, they're getting smaller too, which usually it's the opposite. But I like the look of this one so far. This really screams like retro laptop. And for our power supply, it's just got like a regular barrel, so that's nice. Looks like, nope, that's the audio. Well, let's look at these ports and stuff first. So on the front, I don't know these are probably batteries and stuff. Oh, pull it open. It's probably just a hard drive or something anyways. We do have a CD drive right here, not a DVD drive. And something else that looks like it opens. Fan, I think. Then we have audio, and we have a little volume knob. And on the back, single PS2 port. More audio. This looks like some kind of IR. And then this opens, and this looks like VGA out. Probably some kind of proprietary connector for docking stations. Parallel serial, nothing special on this guy. No USB so far. There's the power. And then on this side, just more. I think this is another one of those ports for that abbreviation. I can't remember. PCMCI or something. Yeah. You will notice, though, there is no floppy drive, which is a little odd for something this old. But I do have a floppy drive for it right here, but there's nowhere to put it in. So I think this only allows one thing at a time. So I think you have to choose between the floppy and the CD drive, which is a little inconvenient, but whatever. So let me plug this in. I just didn't see, even the first time, I went over this before and I didn't see anywhere to connect that floppy drive like internally. So I think that's the only port. It's just you gotta pick. Oops, I already forgot where the power thing was. There we go. Alright, so let's open this guy up. It's definitely like boxier and chunkier than the other ones. I don't see anything like designed for or anything like that, so I have no idea what's in here. Nice old brightness tab. We've got two speakers here, so let's power it up and see if there's an OS on here. I wonder if there's anything in the... Yeah, it just pops up. Okay. 1997, and we got an error, but let's hit F10 to continue and see if we get anything. Well, that's F10 setup. What is it doing? Nothing. Just brighten that. So that's at full brightness, and why isn't it? I think this is the reset, but it's not resetting. So, warning, system reset due to corrupted hibernation file, CMOS checksum invalid. If battery's dead, that makes sense. Some error code, and then let's see if I can Control Alt delete it and see. Oh, is it locked up? Let me power cycle it. It's not, doesn't want to power off. Okay, there we go. Well, that time the reset thing worked. So let's see if we get a different result. Well, a little different. Alright, it was sitting for a moment and then it beeped and the screen went black, so I thought it was doing something. I thought it was loading an OS. Anyways, I looked up the specs on this thing and they're actually, for a retro laptop, it actually looks decent. Like, this might be my pick if I was picking like a retro laptop. It has a Pentium 133 MHz, which is like perfect for DOS, and it can even do some early Windows stuff. I think the max 16 megabytes of RAM. That's great for DOS. It has an ESS sound card, I believe, built in with a real Yamaha OPL chip. So that's really nice. So, I mean, theoretically, this would make a really decent retro gaming laptop here. But, unfortunately, we're not getting anything. I get to this screen here. BIOS. I don't know. Oh, that's different. Okay, 133 megahertz Pentium, Windows 95. Okay, it just decided to work. Literally, that was, I had power cycled this thing many times, and I've been sitting and waiting, and this is the first time it just randomly, 256K of external cache. That's decent. It just randomly decided to work. Okay, well that's decent. That's good. This mouse is really sensitive. Okay, Windows, oh boy, it wants a password. I wouldn't know the password. Let me cancel. Let's see. I think it's still going to load into Windows. So, Windows 95, very appropriate for this machine. Cool, the colors look kind of weird. There's no USB on here, so there's no easy way to quickly throw on like CPU-Z and check it out. I do not feel like hooking up some kind of zip drive or anything, so I'm not sure how much information we can glean about the system's current setup, but we'll see. I mean, the screen, it's obviously not as nice as the other ones, but it's usable. A little bit of ghosting. So we got Windows 95, 48 megabytes of RAM, which is way more than that spec sheet said. But the spec sheet said 16. But I'm guessing it can take, well, obviously it can take more. We've got 48 megabytes. So I don't know what the max, 64 maybe, 128. This came out in 1997, so it could very well be 128. Let's see what device manager tells us. I'm curious about what the display adapters will say. So we've got a Cirrus Logic 7543 2.30A on a PCI bus. Cirrus Logic's decent. Some of their cards are really fast, but I'm not the biggest Cirrus Logic fan. So, I mean, that's for DOS, that's decent, but I'm not like thrilled about it. It's not like the best thing in the world. Let me see what it says about sound. This is really finicky. ESS and ES1688 plug and play audio drive. So that's good. That's really good for DOS. They're very good high Sound Blaster compatibility, but I'm getting an error. So this probably needs like, I mean, I would format it and like install DOS Fresh and then install Windows on here. Maybe Windows 95 or Windows 3.1. I would probably make this a pure DOS build, really. I have a nice Pentium 2 machine I just use for Windows 98, so yeah, I think I'm going to probably make this like pure DOS. What do we have? So yeah, I'm probably just going to make this pure DOS. Oh, this mouse. Okay. Alright. So let's take a look. This is a nice one for DOS gaming, but let's take a look at the last one now. So, quick interjection here. When I did this video with the laptops, I researched none of these laptops prior. Sorry for the fan noise. I'm trying to install XP on a computer over there. But anyways, I didn't do any research prior. I kind of wanted it to be a video of discovery as I checked out these laptops. Well, little did I know that after I shot that first part of the video, I looked some of them up, especially this one, because it interested me. And apparently the Compaq 5000 line and this Compaq 5300, apparently these are very well thought of laptops, very good for DOS. As a matter of fact, I think in some of the videos I saw, the word was even thrown around as the best laptop for running MS-DOS, this guy here, or the series in this Compaq line. So that's very interesting. It's definitely worth restoring this guy, especially apparently the CD drive is a slightly rare attachment, so it's pretty cool that I have it there. Hopefully it works. Haven't really tested it yet, but yeah, I think it's going to be worth doing the effort. So I might do another video specifically on this, although there are a number of them already on YouTube, but I might do another one specifically on this guy right here and restore it. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. Okay, back to the main video. Okay, so yeah, this one I believe is definitely worth getting up and running better. I'm guessing it probably needs the CMOS battery change. That will probably solve a lot of, at least one of those errors at the beginning. And this is our last guy here. This is a Protegé, a Toshiba Protegé 610 CT. And this is the smallest of all of the computers, or the 4 laptops I've received here. Nothing really on the front, except the battery light indicator. We've got audio here. I don't know what that is. Is that the power button, maybe? I don't know. This is definitely seeming to be the least capable as far as expansion. Power, it's regular sort of barrel. Serial, parallel, and I think that's like a proprietary, probably to expand attachments, or to stick it to a docking bay. And then over here we just have another thing that looks like proprietary. I don't know. I think this is for an external floppy drive, because that looks like you can't see it with a light, but it looks like a picture of a very crude floppy disk picture. So I'm guessing that's what that is. And then another one of those, whatever, PCI MCI. Is that it? I don't know. Okay, so one big drawback I can see right away, and I have no attachments for this. There's no way to get data on and off it except for that parallel port. There's no USB, there's no built-in CD drive, and there's no built-in floppy drive. So if I want to do anything with this, realistically, I'm either going to have to hook up something via the parallel port, whether a floppy drive, CD drive, or a zip drive, to transfer information to it, or I believe they make cards for this that, I wonder if there's a USB card that would, I don't know. So yeah, this definitely seems to be the most limited. I don't quite remember the specs, but I think this is the slowest or the oldest. So I believe there's a Pentium 90 in this. So still really good for DOS and Windows 3.1. So if this thing had like a floppy drive in it, it would be really cool for a little tiny compact DOS build. Like if you're going camping or something, or a little road trip, it probably doesn't take too much power. It's very small, but I just wish it had something built in for ease of use. Yeah, small screen. We got the older Intel Pentium. Yeah, looks pretty cool. Where's, I think that power button. Yeah, okay, that is the power button. That little button on the side. Let's see if this one gives us any errors. I hear it, but okay, it was very slow. Um, I see a blinking cursor. Ugh. Okay. As I would expect, error CMOS bad battery, bad check. That's pretty normal for these. I'm sure the battery's dead. Press the F1 key, but let's see. Okay, this is nice. Looks like about 40 megabytes again. LCD display color 16 million. VGA. I don't see much else here. We have EIDE. But I don't think it's going to tell us much else other than the memory. Let's see. Let's exit without saving and see what happens. It's nice because it's portable. It's small, but I think it had 40 megabytes. Sometimes I get, like, the numbers throw me off because it's not like 40. It's like 40,000 or whatever because it counts it in kilobytes. Math was never my strong point, so I think it's 40 megabytes-ish. I would guess this machine like this wouldn't have much more than that. Starting Windows 95, it's fairly appropriate. Nice screen. Again, this is the smallest of all the screens, but it is kind of sharp. I do kind of like it. Let's see. Will it get into Windows? I had less trouble with this guy than the other one. I wish the other one was this well behaved. Not that it still gave me an error. Little noisy, little like hissing. Okay, a lot of hissing, but not too bad. This might be the worst sound of them as far as sound goes, but still. What is this? Oh, trackball. At least it's more manageable. It's much slower. This is more. I mean, it could be a little faster and more responsive, but not bad. Let's see if we can glean any more information. Control pad. It's like I feel like I'm fighting with the mouse to move it. Let's see what we had now. If this had like some kind of, well, we'll see. Yeah, 40 megabytes of RAM. Kind of a weird number. I would expect more like 64 or 32. It's a little strange. There might be like some built into the hard drive, and then you add a chip, and it makes it like a weird number. Or maybe there's like 36. I don't know. Maybe there's 4. I don't know. Okay, what do we got here? Windows 95. It just says Pentium. But from looking at the spec sheets, like I said, I believe it's a Pentium 90. Let's see what it says for device drivers, chips and technologies, accelerator. New. No idea. I mean, they're okay. Chips and technologies. Am I less of a fan of them than Cirrus Logic? I'm not a fan of Cirrus Logic. I mean, they've made some good, fast, like, VLB card chips and stuff. The Eagle 2 is an awesome, weird, vintage VGA card, but I don't... Chips and Technologies. For some reason, I think of Chips and Technologies, I think more like the 286 era. I don't know if they make chipsets or not or anything, but, like, I don't know. I don't know much about them. Maybe they're great. Not super impressed with the built-in video. What do we have for... And I'm sure you guys could fill me in on... If you're like, Chips and Technologies is a hidden gem of a video chip manufacturer, well, please let me know. It's just my personal experience. I don't remember much about them. Okay, cool. ESS. This also has an ESS. So we have an ES688 audio drive. I don't remember if that's the same as the last one. I think the last one might have been slightly newer, but I don't remember. Maybe they were the same. But that's nice. ESS. So that's a decent sound chip for like Windows and DOS. Great Sound Blaster compatibility. I'm guessing there's a real OPL3 FM chip in here, which is also really nice. And I believe there's some games that natively support this too. So I think this is, again, ESS, they have many different audio chips, but I believe the ES688 is a decent one with real OPL3. You can let me know in the comments, but that's good as far as sound goes. And we're not getting an error on this machine. So, standard serial. I don't have a standard serial mouse hooked up. Okay, so I do like this one, and it's giving me less issues, but the problem is the lack of built-in drives. If this just even had a floppy drive built into it, and I don't have one for it, so I'm out of luck unless I drag out some parallel port device that I also have to plug into the wall at power. It's inconvenient. It kind of almost negates the small size of it. So I don't know, is this considered like an early notebook or something? Ugh, okay. Netbook or something. Yeah, I mean, if I had to redo this one, I would definitely just go with DOS. Maybe Windows 3.1. No, obviously Windows 95 works, but Pentium 90, yeah, it works. Whatever. Anyways, that is all of the 4 vintage laptops I've picked up. I know it's not the most exciting video, but you know, we're keeping it real here. Whatever that means. So, yeah, that sounded nice. Very nostalgic. So thanks again for watching. Please, I always say leave me your comments, and I do always enjoy like your comments and your stories, except for the mean ones. I don't like the mean stuff, or being mean to my dogs. Haven't had any of those lately, but now bringing that up, I'm asking for it. But yeah, please leave comments on these laptops, because I am not a laptop guy. And if you want, some of you think like, oh, that's a really great laptop, or I had that's a stinker, or what suggestions I could do with them, please let me know. I'm very interested in doing something with these laptops, or like setting them up, like reformatting them and refurbishing them and stuff, and just keeping them around for the apocalypse, the non-EMP related apocalypse. Maybe I'll put them in like a Faraday cage, and then, you know, when the world ends, I can still enjoy my DOS games. That's great. I live out the rest of my life in some kind of forest in the mountains, or a desert hermit, but I got my laptops and my DOS games and Windows 98. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.